Hi, today I'm going to talk about a very exciting topic about 4 passive income and 4 power methods of property investment. So what are the 4 passive income? I call it 4 C's of passive income. First, capital gain. Second, cash flow. Third, cumulative loan reduction. I call it CLR. Then currency. I will explain a bit later in my slide later on in more detail and the pros and cons of each. Now before I go into that, I'm going to show you a bigger slide about this global house price index. Now this global house price index show you that over the years, you look at my mouse since 1980 to say 2016, the property prices has gone up tremendously. It's more like a compound growth over a period of time. So what I'm trying to share with you is that for property investment, the benefit of that is that it's up a lot, down very little. If there's a correction, for example, over here, the correction is quite little. When it's gone up, it is go up quite a lot. So that's what you need to remember. And secondly, it is a lifetime income. If you're buying a property with 99 years, why I say lifetime? Say you buy a property even in your early 20s, are you going to live until 99 plus 20? So which is about 120 years old. So it's a lifetime thing when you own a property. Now, if you look at the income level, for example, the property, say you buy $1 million, your rent could be say 3% at a very conservative number. So say 36,000 a year minus expenses, assume that you pay cash for it, say in the region of 30,000 for simple number calculation. So over 100 years, how much would that be worth? So 30,000 over 100 years is $3 million. So you buy something worth $3 million at $1 million. So it's 1/3 of the price. Now, then you can say, in terms of my calculation, in terms of rent, there's a discounted cash flow element in it because the future value of money of 3,000 a month is much less than today's 3,000. But then you factor in the inflation rate. So it sort of quite easily cancel off. So I did not buffer in terms of inflation. So I use a straight calculation so that we work out the intrinsic value of the property itself. So you buy something at worth $3 million and at $1 million. This based on cash. Now the excitement will come later that you don't have to use $1 million to buy a property. You can use little money down to buy a property, say even 10% or 30% down. The rest of it you can borrow it from the bank. Now, next, if what happens is your property is 999 and freehold, that's how why the property it compound at a value like almost infinite. N stands for near infinite. So if you times your property price for 1,000 years, so you buy something like maybe $300 million or $30 million. My calculation, 3 million times 10, it's 100 times. So $300 million, you pay $1 million for the property. How can you be wrong in terms of investment in property? That's why it's very hard to go wrong, and the bank are very happy to loan you money to buy property, and it's very safe. Thirdly, this is my point. It's evergreen rising value when we invest in property. This is across the board, anywhere in the world. Now, to appreciate the 4C of passive income, I need to explain this to you in terms of property price trend. So what I'm trying to show you on the chart just now is to prove to you that property prices will go up in a big way over a period of say 15-30 years time. So this line is the time, the other one is the dollar sign. So in terms of dollar value, so for example, you buy a property here, over time of 30 years, most likely it will rise up. There are correction along the way. For example, this recession maybe coming or happening, so the price will correct for a period of time, then it will start to rise again. Yeah. So when you buy a property for $1 million, so I give you an example. Yeah. Then, so typically, conservatively, you can get a bank loan for 70% for investment property. Yeah. So if you buy for your own stay, I think the loan can be higher. So we using investment property as a benchmark. So 70% is a conservative number. Then you will put 300,000 down. So whatever the percentage you're buying, so you buy a lower quantum property, say 100,000, you put 30,000 down, you're in for the property game. Yeah. So then you have a loan. The yellow part is a loan. Then you have to pay down over 30 years. Normally the bank will ask you to pay down the loan over a 30-year period. Then there's a mortgage. Mortgage P plus I stand for principal. Principal means whatever the amount you owe to the bank, so you have to pay back. There's a fixed payment term, say $3,000 a month. Out of the $3,000, there's an interest portion and there's a principal portion. Now, this is a very significant part of the whole game. And of course, you have the rent. Rent and minus mortgage, unfortunately, a lot of time you don't have the cash flow. Sometimes you may even need to top up. If you buy the property at a higher price, you may have to top up. Now, you'll find that it's very unexciting to buy property. If you look at this number, I put in $300,000. Every month I get nothing. I rent out the property, not that I'm staying in the property, I'm not even enjoying the property. So I have to pay the bank $3,000, I collect $3,000. It's absolutely crazy. Crazy return on investment in terms of no cash flow, nothing for the next 30 years. Where is the excitement? Now the secret of this is that when I say P plus I, principal and interest. Now, the $3,000 mortgage you pay to the bank, not everything will be gone. So it's a bit like a forced saving. The interest portion is what the bank earn from you. Rule of thumb, very simple. If you use 50%, say 3,000, 1,500 quite likely will be your what I call the principal payback, loan repayment, loan pay down. When you pay back the loan, 1,500 a month, say 3,000 mortgage, 1,500 over a 12-month period is 18,000 a year. It's the form of forced saving. It's not a lot of money. It looks like not much, but then it can be a lot over a long period of like 10 or 15 years. So you pay down. So how you look like, you see that in the blue section, what I call cumulative loan reduction. Now, that is a secret of property investing. Now, the other thing also very unexciting for most people, for a short-term investor, they'll see that, hey, look, if I buy a property over the first 15 years, the blue part is very little. Why? The reason being is, when you borrow from the bank at 70%, at 700,000 in this case, your interest portion is very high. When you pay the bank will take your interest payment time, your loan amount, time the interest amount. Say if your interest is 1%, is 7,000 a year. Now the balance will be your loan pay down. The lower the interest rate is better for you. The higher the interest rate is worse for you. Now, when you borrow from the bank, the loan is called reducing loan type. So after like 5 or 10 years, you may pay off the loan, say by 50,000. So your loan becomes 650,000. 650,000, your interest cost will be lower. So as you go, you pay more and more principal. So the principal portion have increased over the years. After 30 years, towards the first few years, the interest portion is very high. Towards the end of it, the interest portion is very low because your loan could be just maybe 100,000, 50,000. As you go, maybe becomes zero. So 30 years you pay off. So the property is free. We all loan is yours. Now, what is exciting here to observe is that firstly, you have what we call cumulative CLR, loan reduction. That is your equity build up. This is a forced saving. Now the rent will cover the repayment. The rent should increase over time. Mortgage should be quite fixed over the years. So you got some cash flow over time. That's why I purposely put the line here. You can see that it's going upward. Then the red line is quite fixed. So you got a gap here. Those are cash flow. Now if you pay off after 30 years, the rent is full 100% yours. Nothing to pay the bank. So meantime, where is the excitement when you buy a property like that? It takes a long time for you to pay off your loan. 30 years is almost a lifetime already, of your lifetime or 1/3. Now, the excitement is in the capital gain. Capital gain is something that you can make, you can lose. If you sell your property during the downturn, right? Remember, property prices does correct during recession or downtime. So you bought at 1 million, if you sell at 800,000 or 900,000, you lose 100,000. So you become a capital loss, not a capital gain. So for property investment, we want to go for the gain much more than the loss. So the holding power for the property investment is very important. So if you sell the property, say 15 years later, say you have a holding period of 15 years, I think it's quite safe. The cycle of downturn will be over. Then you have a huge capital gain. Say your property could be 1 million or become $1.5 million. $1.5 million minus $1 million, you make $500,000 on your initial deposit of 300,000. This is more than 100% gain, right? On top of that, you are not only getting the capital gain over here, but you also get the CLR, the loan reduction amount. This is your forced saving, remember? The forced saving will be your profit as well. Yeah. So that is the excitement of property investment. So if you wait even longer, the price will compound. Maybe you go to another cycle down, they up again, then you make a lot of money from this. So this is what I call classic method of property investment. Classic method, you have a little bit of cash flow or even no cash flow, and then you have capital gain. So this is a classic, typical people buy property based on this method. It's not the most exciting method. However, I think it's exciting enough for people who want to invest in property in the long haul and a conservative manner. Yeah. And on top of that, this is what I call property investment. That means you have a rent, not for own stay. You rent out the property, the tenant paying for you, the tenant paying for your interest for you, and give you the forced saving. So all you need to do is put down the initial down payment plus legal fee and stamp duty. There's a one-time payment. After that, the property will work for you, for a lifetime. If it's a 999 property, or 200 years leasehold property, or 99 years old property. Yeah. So first method, classic method. Now I'm going to show you another method which is a lot more exciting. What I call super method. This is a second method I'm going to share with you. Now, if you are able to buy property with the same minimum 99 leasehold or above, then you get a rent of say $6,000, which I've done quite a lot of property. Typically, they are in a commercial or industrial type of property. Residential property are hard to get because residential property, there are a lot of people who are comfortable in buying residential properties. So the yield are quite low typically. It sort of barely covers the interest cost and the principal. So to do this, typically you need to be in the game of commercial or industrial property. Unless if you buy at a really recession time, super good timing, then you can get a rent of 6,000, pay the bank 3,000. I got quite a lot of property. I done that. Industrial property, say my rent is 5,000, I pay the bank $3,000. So there is a straight off cash flow of $2,000 positive cash flow property, and 12,000 rand, maybe pay the bank 6,000. So that is on the cash flow portion. Then don't forget, you still enjoy the principal and interest portion. That means your loan reduction, the blue part over the year. So this is a perfect super model. And capital gain, of course, you have it. This is what I call you make money when you buy. Likewise, you still go through the same cycle of the timing when you sell it. If you sell it at a price below your purchase price, you experience a capital loss. So when you have the cash flow and you're earning money every month and the saving, so there's no reason for you to sell it unless your cash flow is very tight. Yeah. So this is I would say a perfect super model of property investment. Yeah. Now, so I've covered 3 areas: capital gain, cash flow, CLR. Now, where is the number 4? Number 4 is a currency. Now, this applies to only property overseas. For example, if I live in Singapore, I buy a property in UK or Japan, I have a chance of capital in terms of currency gain. For example, you buy the property using Sing dollar to buy a pound property at exchange rate of 1.7 now. Now, say 5 or 10 years later, the pound go to 2.3, 2.4. This gain is passive. I did not have to do anything. I purely enjoy the currency gain. So when you convert back, my Sing dollar become a lot more, and there's no tax on that. Typically, for country like Singapore, there's no capital gain tax. Currency gain is a form of capital gain also. But do take note, the rental income are taxable in most countries, and they are tax deductible in terms of interest cost for that. So there is a lot of benefit in investing in property in that manner, and there are 4 C of passive income. So there are 4 streams of very powerful income that you don't have to do much about it. Now, so I've covered 2 methods of property investing: classic and super model. Now there are 2 other models which are very, very exciting also, that you can apply as a savvy property investor. So this is more for advanced investment methods. Now, one of them is called, I call it off-plan method. Off-plan method, how it works is very simple. I take example of, this is a UK property, for example. This may not apply to every country. Certain countries, you can do it. Good example is UK off-plan. Off-plan means the property are not finished building yet. The developer selling you as off-plan. Off-plan means from the plan. On the plan, not built yet. You will probably take 3 to 4 years to complete, or 1 year to complete. Now, so you can buy a property at a list price of 222,000. This is the actual example I'm sharing with you. Property in Birmingham city center at it's called Timber Yard project. I don't mind sharing with you. We have a group buy, bulk buy with my friends and members under MADJACK Academy. So what we do is that we have a 10% discount. So 222,000. Why the developer give you 10%? Because you buy in bulk. So it's a wholesale advantage. You are able to play at the institutional level, buying the property at the bulk level. 10% discount doesn't sound like a lot if you buying vegetables or potatoes, that kind of thing, because the actual value is not a lot. So if you buy a property 200,000, 10% is 20,000, 22,000 pounds saving. What happens if you buying a property at £500,000 or $1 million pound at 10%? So that is a lot of money. Yeah, we experienced that with a lot of our members under MADJACK Academy. We do that together, and we get very good discount for property purchase. Yeah. Now, so this example, how it works is very simple. You buy this at a bulk discount, then you put a 10% deposit in it. 10%. 10% of 200,000 is 20,000, then plus legal fee. That's it. There's no extra stamp duty to pay to start with, because you only pay stamp duty at completion. It's very different from Singapore. Singapore, when you sign the sales and purchase agreement, you're paying the stamp duty already, which is about 3 to 4%. And then on top of that, we have this additional buyer stamp duty. Additional buyer stamp duty can be for a second property, third property, can be very hefty. It can be 10%, 20%. As a foreigner, no need to say. So 20%. So that is very hefty. In this case, nothing. Only legal fee, 2,000, and a 10% deposit. You control the property at 222,000. Then you have a equity, I would say. It's more like you make money when you buy. Equity of 22,000 built in. So it's 100% profit built in. Why I say 100%? Your 22,000 discount, and versus your 22,000 deposit is 100%. So assume that when the property is ready in 3 years' time, you can sell it off at just 252,000. So you already make 100%. So the profit is built in upfront. Yeah. Then balance 90% pay at the completion time in 3 years' time when the property is ready. What I call completion means take key. And this is what we call deferred payment. Deferred payment are implemented in Singapore before during the recession time, bad time. Deferred means developers are allowed to defer the payment. You put a deposit, you don't pay now until when you're taking key. In Australia, in Japan, it's common. This is a common practice. Yeah, and you don't pay stamp duty upfront also. Same thing. So it's such a big privilege to be able to invest in overseas property that you know the difference. Where you buy property in Singapore, you pay a lot upfront, and before even you take the key, you haven't even enjoyed the property, you're paying upfront already. On top of that, we have other sellers stamp duty. When you sell in a certain period of time, there is a seller's stamp duty. With the exception of industrial and commercial property that you don't have to pay the upfront duty per se. So in this case, in UK especially, you can sell anytime. So there is a beautiful advantage for a property investor. That's why I say this is quite an advanced level, not for people who doesn't know the game well. And what we do is that in MADJACK Academy, we can up this level at a wholesale level, buy at the discount. There's a big benefit we bring to our member. Now, first scenario I mentioned, we sell the property at the list price, because if everybody else bought the property, if the project sold out, anybody on the street who buy a unit of the property, they will not naturally sell at a loss. They would want to sell at some profit, right? So you assume you just take a profit of 5%. 5% is 150% gain for us before completion, right? Before we take key. Now, the other thing also, when developer launch a project, so when they launch a project, they will sell by phases. If phase 1 sell well, if the location, the market reception is good for the property, they typically will increase the price. Why? Simple. Developer also want to make a bit more profit from their development, and when they launch the first phase, maybe a 1/3 of the project, then second phase they up it, so they get an average higher price. And by the time you hit the third phase, the prices is much higher. Yeah, and some developer can even increase by the price far more than this when the market is hot. Yeah, that you probably will experience 2-3 years down the road from now. Now is 2020, COVID pandemic, but by 2023, 2022 maybe, the market will move because there are a lot of stimulus money in the market. They will move up a lot in the stock market or the property. Yeah, and so second scenario, if it's a 10% gain, then you will have a calculation of £44,000 gain, and then divide by the original investment of 22,000, you get a 73% gain. Ideally, typically, what I do is that, like this project we bought in our group, we bought about 20 units. I myself and my partner, we bought about 7 units of this project in Birmingham. We were very happy with this project because it sold very well, and we select the best possible unit because we were at the launch, at discount and discount payment term, and nothing to pay. So typically 6 months beforehand, a lot of buyers will come, and for own stay or for investment for whatever purpose. This is when they can get a bank loan locally. The local people in UK, they can get bank loan. So they'll look at the pricing. Developer may be selling the same apartment. This is a 1-room apartment, city center. Maybe it can be 250,000, 300,000. There's a high possibility because there's a lot of improvement. There's high-speed rail. There are a lot of officers moving to this city, like HSBC, bank, all that. They're moving into the city and hiring a lot of people for lower cost. It's a back-end office. And high-speed rail, people can travel to London at 45 minutes instead of 2-3 hour drive. So this creates a lot of excitement in this kind of project. So people will buy at 300,000. 300,000 is very affordable, and 200,000 is crazily affordable, I would say. So at 300,000, we'll make a lot of money. So I just based on 250,000, we'll make a 50% gain on our investment. Then the other one is CAGR, stands for compound annual growth rate. This is a different subject. When you invest, you need to measure your compound annual growth rate. I mean your annual compounding rate. That's how you can make a lot of money with this CAGR. You need to understand this concept about compound annual growth rate. Now, if you're looking at average return, it's a different thing from a compound annual growth rate. So you got to watch my other video to understand what is compound annual growth rate in terms of investment. In property, typically when you invest in property, it's a long-term thing. So it naturally compound for you. And that is another powerful thing, very, very powerful thing, to compound your investment over a long period of time. Like if you compound your CPF 4%, it's not like a lot, but if you compound over a period of 20-30 years, it can grow significantly, a compound rate, exponential way. If you are able to compound, like what we do, we are able to double your money 2-3 years based on what we are doing. You can actually double your money every 2-3 years. Say you double your money every 3 years, it's a compound annual growth rate of 26%. Now, when you're able to do that, so if you compound your money, able to double every 3 years, your 100,000, you double it many times. 100,000 become 200,000, become 400,000, become 800,000, and become 1.2 million. 800 become 1.6. So in 15 years, 100,000 become $3.2 million. So that is a significant difference for an average investor with a compound annual growth rate like 3%, 5%, or below 10%. So come back to this subject about 15% gain on the price is a 250% gain, and a compound annual growth rate of 51%. So there is a big return on our investment. And the reason why it gives you such a big return is because of this power leverage. Power leverage means you have a leverage of 10 times on your actual investment. 200,000, you put little money down, 10% of the actual money. Then there's 20,000. Now, if you pay cash for this investment, 200,000 you pay cash. If you increase by 20%, you only make 20%. But if in this case, if you have a leverage of 10 times, the property prices increase by 10%, you will have an improvement of 10 times the power of, 200% return. Yeah. So typically it's a measure of leverage of 10 times. Yeah. So that's what we are talking about. So the power of leverage in this case. However, power leverage, it cut both ways. If you are down, it can be, it's 10 times more powerful. So it is like a knife or gun. You must know how to use it. That's why we apply in this method. So it become a high return, low risk method. High return means very high upside. We talking about 10, 20 times return, in a period of short period of time, or even 2 times in 3 years, which is a lot. Yeah, and the downside is quite limited because we buy at a wholesale pricing. So there's a big benefit. I can't help to emphasize, this is a big benefit of MADJACK Academy able to deliver. Yeah. So the pricing of the property go the same, up down. We are not so concerned with that, yeah, because we are in this for long term. Now, another question you will find that, hey, what do I do when it's 3 years up? I have not sold my property. Now you have another option, which is very powerful. You can take key. So when you have an option here from year 1, from the day you buy, tomorrow you can sell it. If someone come along, give you a good price, you can let go. Yeah. Typically what I do is that I buy 1 or 2 or a few of the unit in the same project, so I can sell one. Now if you sell one with a profit over here, you thought you are very smart. But then by year 3, if the price gone up so much, you will sort of beat yourself because you sold it so cheap. So the way to do is that you can buy 2, you can sell somewhere in between, or even over here, you at the maximum profit level, you sell 1. Then after that, you complete 1 to keep. So one of the strategies is that sell some, keep some, so you're not frustrated. So something you hold for long term, right? So I'm going to talk about next topic about complete the property. Now, property investment in Singapore, our banks are very conservative. So you must pay principal and interest, like the model I talked about earlier on. Now, in other countries, especially UK, you can have this thing called I-only method. I stand for interest only. That means your loan, you take, you pay interest only. So this is how it works. So this same property by 200,000, you put in 30% down, right? Then you have a loan, you pay interest only. So that is the beauty. So when you pay interest only, chances of you having a positive cash flow is very, very high. There's no principal saving. So what happened? People ask, hey, there's no CLR. Remember the CLR? CLR is a cumulative loan reduction, right? So there's no loan reduction in this case. Now what are you in it for? You're in for the cash flow. So that the load is very light. Then what are you in it for? The most exciting part, capital gain. So you have this capital gain, you have this cash flow. Then thirdly, you have the currency gain also. If you sell the property, if the value of the property gone up very high, this is perfect for you. Then in this case, the leverage is 3 times versus the op plan is 10 times. So you can go through the process of buying the property from op plan, hold for 3 years. Then you have the option to sell it anywhere in between. Then you can choose to complete it, taking a bank loan, interest payment only. So there are, in summary, there are 4 methods of powerful method of property investment that I've shared you. These are very big insight, and then there are also 4 streams of passive income from various investment methods. So these are how you're able to achieve financial freedom, build your wealth over time, compound your investment over a period of time in terms of your investment. Thank you.